Hello and welcome to the SimplyMap video on display and output options. Once you've made your map, you probably want to use it elsewhere, and we're going to look at some of the options available to you in terms of doing that. First, we'll talk a little bit about display options, ways that you can change the way your map looks before outputting it, and then we'll talk about some of the ways that you can share your map with others, either as a downloaded file or as a online shared file. So right now we're looking at a kind of straightforward map. One of the first options that you have is actually to create data filters. Data filters affect what parts of the map are shown and are useful if you want to filter out certain parts of the map. So to use data filters, you create it, you set create data filter, you then select a variable. It'll show a number of recent variables that you may have selected. We're going to be selecting population density. You select what you want the filter to calculate, greater than, less than, equal to, etc. We'll go with greater than or equal to. And then you select what you want this to cover. We're looking here at zip codes, and then you can either enter a number directly or you can slide using this histogram. The histogram gives a sense of the potential range, and you'll see that as you slide along the histogram, the numbers change. So we'll call this one population density and save it. And then, as you zoom out, you'll see that certain areas that have a population density greater than the number that we selected are grayed out. This is useful for making sure that you're only looking at relevant areas if you have a filter that's required, and is one of the main options. As you'll see then, this appears in that menu. Your other display options are more on and off options. You can choose to show the legend or not. You can edit the legend actually from the legend menu as to what it specifically shows. You can choose to show map labels, which depending on what the criteria you are viewing the data by will show different labels. So right now we're viewing by zip codes, but if you were viewing by census tracts, it would label individual census tracts. You'll note that also the filter follows as you switch. Let's go back to zip codes here. And the other thing that you are able to do is to highlight the location. That's this yellow box around the specific location your map is centered around. And to apply a location mask, in which case you only see the selected location. This can be very useful if you're looking for data within a city or something similar. The other thing that you can do from the display options menu is you can change data specifically, keeping the same data and keeping the same location, but changing the specific data that you are looking at. For instance, jumping to year 2000 data. Once you have your map specifically put together, you can export it. The Actions menu includes all of your export options. There's the possibility to export a map image, which will take you to this screen. Exporting a map image will give you a few options. You can change the, what part of the map is highlighted, what shape that is in. Then you can continue to layout. Layout will allow you to include a number of things within the map, things like the legend and a scale bar. These things are also mobile. You'll notice that you can drag and drop the scale bar so that it's not in a invisible area. You can do an inset map, and you can do a north arrow, which indicates which direction is north. You can then continue to export and select your different options between PNG, JPEG, SVG, and PDF. You can select to either email it to yourself or to another person, or to download that directly. Either way, you click Finished, and that will complete the action. You can also export SimplyMap information to shapefiles, which are used in GIS software such as ArcGIS. This is an expert option and outside the scope of this video, but if you do choose to do that, it is from here. The final export option that is available is the ability to share a map with other SimplyMap users. You can simply send this link and another SimplyMap user can open this map and see what you are working on. This is useful for sharing with people in the Loyola community because Loyola has a subscription to SimplyMap, and any Loyola user can view SimplyMap materials once they create an account. Those are your options for display and output.